2025 is looking stacked for Nintendo Switch horror fans. We're talking confirmed releases actually hitting the console this year, not just vague announcements. Release dates will pop up on screen as we go, but hey, you know how it is. Games get delayed sometimes. Still, these are the ones locked in for 2025, and they're shaping up to deliver plenty of scares on the go. So, let's jump right into the new horror games coming to Nintendo Switch this year. Little Nightmares 3 takes us right back into the twisted and eerie world of nowhere, but this time it's darker and more dangerous than ever. You play as two brand new characters, Alone and Low, each with unique abilities that add a fresh layer to puzzle solving and traversal. For the first time in the series, you can team up with a friend in online co-op, changing how you approach every tense, atmospheric section. The environments are larger and more dynamic, filled with unsettling new creatures and terrifying encounters designed to keep you on edge. The art direction doubles down on nightmare fuel, with sharper animations and more detail than ever before. Now under the direction of Supermassive Games, known for their cinematic horror style, this entry promises a bigger focus on storytelling and intense set pieces. It's shaping up to be the most ambitious game in the series and one of 2025's most anticipated horror releases. Poppy Playtime. Chapter 4 dives even deeper into the twisted secrets of Playtime Co., taking players to larger, more complex areas filled with unsettling puzzles and terrifying toy experiments. New enemy designs look faster and more aggressive than ever, forcing you to rethink how you approach chases and stealth moments. Visuals and lighting have been upgraded, cranking up the tension in every encounter and giving the whole chapter a heavier, darker tone. It's being described as the longest and scariest chapter yet, tying up major story threads while pushing the series' horror atmosphere further than ever. From what's been shown so far, it's shaping up to be one of the year's most ambitious horror releases and easily a must-play for fans of the series.
Hiya there, pal. Follow me.
I Hate This Place throws you into a hostile open world where every step feels unsafe, combining survival gameplay with heavy horror elements. Inspired by the cult comic of the same name, it mixes exploration, crafting, and intense combat while wrapping it all in a mysterious sci-fi horror narrative. You'll navigate strange anomalies, bizarre creatures, and environments that constantly shift to keep you on edge. There's a focus on resource management and story choices, pushing you to decide how far you're willing to go to survive in this nightmare. Visually, it leans into a grim 80s aesthetic, with neon-lit structures clashing against dark, ruined landscapes. From early looks, this game is shaping up to be one of the more unique and experimental horror experiences of the year. Spacepunk Survival blends retro-style sci-fi aesthetics with fast-paced survival gameplay, throwing you into a hostile space station crawling with alien horrors. The focus is on scavenging for resources, crafting gear, and holding your ground against waves of increasingly dangerous enemies. Its punk-inspired neon visuals and synth-heavy soundtrack give the game a unique energy, making every encounter feel chaotic and unpredictable. There's a strong emphasis on cooperative play too, letting you team up with friends to fend off attacks while exploring derelict areas for upgrades and secrets. It's equal parts old-school shooter and survival challenge, leaning into a frantic, arcade-like feel that keeps the action relentless. For anyone looking for a fresh twist on sci-fi horror this year, Spacepunk Survival looks like one to keep an eye on. Bendy and the Dark Revival drags players back into that creepy old animation studio where twisted cartoon characters and inky nightmares come to life. This first-person horror game mixes exploration, puzzle solving, and stealth as you navigate environments drenched in a surreal, vintage cartoon aesthetic. The inky enemies are smarter and more aggressive than before, forcing you to think fast and conserve resources to survive. There's a deeper focus on narrative this time, revealing more about the studio's dark history and the mysterious ink demon hunting you. Visually, it nails that unsettling cartoon gone wrong vibe while improving lighting and environmental detail for a richer horror experience. For fans of atmospheric horror with a unique art style, Bendy and the Dark Revival is a must-play and one of the year's standout releases. The Renovator Origins takes a psychological horror approach, dropping you into abandoned buildings where every room hides unsettling secrets. On the surface, it looks like a game about restoring forgotten spaces, but it quickly turns into a descent into paranoia and dread. You'll be solving environmental puzzles, uncovering hidden stories, and facing disturbing supernatural events that distort reality around you. The game leans heavily on atmosphere, with oppressive sound design and lighting that keeps you constantly uneasy. Its slower, methodical pacing is built to make every discovery feel impactful, often leaving you second-guessing what's real and what's in your head. While it's been divisive among critics, the unique concept and focus on environmental storytelling make it stand out as one of the more experimental horror games to watch in 2025. Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition brings the original, critically acclaimed horror platformer back with improved visuals and performance for modern systems. This version takes the eerie, dreamlike atmosphere of the first game and sharpens it with higher resolution textures, smoother animations, and upgraded lighting to make every shadow feel even more unsettling. The story remains untouched, keeping that haunting journey through the maw intact, but now it feels more immersive and visually striking. For new players, it's a perfect chance to experience one of the most unique horror adventures of recent years, and for returning fans, it's a fresh excuse to revisit its disturbing world. Whether it's the grotesque creature designs or the tension-filled platforming, this edition makes sure the original Nightmare looks and feels better than ever. Ayasa Shadows of Silence is a haunting mix of puzzle platforming and atmospheric horror, set in a world consumed by darkness and silence. You guide Ayasa through surreal, crumbling landscapes where sound itself is a dangerous tool, forcing you to solve puzzles while staying hidden from mysterious, shadowy entities. Its art direction leans toward a painterly, dreamlike aesthetic, contrasting beautiful environments with unsettling enemy designs. The game focuses on precision movement and clever environmental interactions, rewarding patience and observation as you progress. With its blend of emotional storytelling and unique gameplay mechanics, Ayasa, Shadows of Silence stands out as one of the more experimental and intriguing horror releases to watch in 2025. Corpse Party, 2 Darkness Distortion shifts the cult horror series into full 3D, dropping players into a cursed hospital where nothing is as it seems. You'll explore eerie hallways, solve puzzles, and make tough choices that lead to multiple endings, all while evading terrifying supernatural threats. The atmosphere is heavier and bloodier than ever, with grotesque visuals and unnerving audio design keeping tension high. It's a fresh evolution of the series that still captures the unsettling spirit fans love. Centum is a psychological escape room horror game built entirely around messing with your perception of reality. You wake up trapped in a strange, shifting facility with only one way out: solve the puzzles and trust nothing. The game constantly questions your decisions, presenting unreliable characters and environments that subtly change as you progress, making every solution feel uncertain. It leans heavily on atmosphere, using eerie ambient audio and distorted visuals to keep you on edge. Every choice can lead to unexpected outcomes, and the narrative adapts around how you approach each problem, resulting in multiple possible endings. It's not about cheap jump scares, but slow burn tension and that creeping feeling of paranoia. Centum feels like one of those experimental horror games designed to get inside your head and stay there long after you've put the controller down. Dead of Darkness throws you into 1980s England, where a private investigator travels to the mysterious Velvet Island searching for answers and instead finds something far more sinister. This is a survival horror experience with limited resources, environmental puzzles, and an island filled with hostile creatures that feel like they came straight out of a nightmare. The 2D visual style gives it a retro edge, but the tone is heavy on atmosphere, with every dark corner feeling unsafe. Hallucinations and psychological twists blur the line between reality and madness, keeping you guessing about what's real. Multiple enemy types and a branching narrative make every playthrough unpredictable, while the haunting soundtrack amplifies the tension. Dead of Darkness feels like a throwback to classic survival horror, but with its own unsettling identity, making it one of 2025's more intriguing horror titles. Goosebumps. Terror in Little Creek takes R.L. Stine's classic horror vibe and builds an original story set in a small town spiraling into chaos. You play as Sloane Spencer, investigating strange events and battling bizarre monsters while uncovering the mystery behind Little Creek. The game blends puzzles, exploration, and light combat, with a retro-inspired look that keeps the nostalgic Goosebumps feel but adds a creepier edge. It's shaping up to be a fun mix of playful scares and eerie atmosphere, perfect for fans of the series or anyone looking for a lighter horror experience. The House of the Dead 2 Remake brings back the arcade classic that defined fast-paced zombie shooting for a whole generation. This new version keeps the original's on-rails gameplay intact, but rebuilds it with modern visuals, smoother animations, and improved controls to match today's standards. You'll blast through flooded streets, creepy mansions, and monster-infested canals, all while taking on mutated bosses that look nastier than ever. The co-op mode returns, letting two players jump into the action together for that old-school, quarter-eating arcade feel, only now with high-definition gore and detail. It's a nostalgic throwback updated just enough to feel fresh, making it perfect for fans of the series and anyone looking for a quick, chaotic horror fix. Tormented Souls. 2 brings back that classic survival horror vibe inspired by the golden era of games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, but cranks up the atmosphere even more. You step into the shoes of Caroline Walker once again, this time investigating a mysterious South American village cursed by ancient horrors. Expect limited resources, tense puzzle solving, and grotesque enemies lurking in every shadow, forcing you to carefully manage your ammo and health. The fixed camera angles return, but with improved controls and modern visuals, creating a perfect mix of nostalgia and fresh polish. With its chilling soundtrack, disturbing monster design, and story full of twists, Tormented Souls 2 looks like it's ready to scratch that old-school horror itch while standing out as one of 2025's creepiest releases. Reanimal comes from the team behind Little Nightmares and delivers another eerie platforming adventure, this time set on a mysterious island filled with bizarre, mutated wildlife. You'll navigate treacherous environments, solve environmental puzzles, and uncover what caused the strange biological chaos surrounding the island. The game combines a dark, handcrafted art style with tense, atmospheric storytelling that focuses on survival and discovery. With its focus on platforming and environmental storytelling, Reanimal feels like a spiritual sibling to Little Nightmares, but with its own unique identity. Early previews suggest it's going to be a creepy and emotional experience worth keeping an eye on. And that's it for the new horror games hitting Nintendo Switch in 2025. If we missed any horror games you're excited about, let us know in the comments because we're always down to check out more. And hey, if you like talking games with us every week, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribing keeps you in the loop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.